Hey, Kevin Chaos. So, I actually just wanted to give you guys a quick tip on how to spot and therefore avoid email spam. First and foremost, obviously, if you've never signed up for an email service or company or whatever, maybe you shop and decide not to give out personal details. If you receive an email from a company, it's probably already bullcrap. Second, so in this case, we have the Home Depot. So, second, we're going to look at the actual email it's coming from in the header information. And there's actually ways to fake this information as well. But interestingly enough, they would like us to believe that we're receiving this email from a government website. Equally not true, of course, because the government website is actually a .za website for those who pay attention. The only thing in an address in a website that tells you where it's from, or at least where the website is hosted, technically, is going to be the very last bit of information after the last period. Okay, so this information is coming from ZA. I don't know what that is, maybe New Zealand or something. Okay, so sars.gov.za would like us to believe this random confirmation link as the email title came from the Home Depot, and that we are winning a DeWalt drill for free. Now, here's another extremely obvious, and it's always like this thing I'd like to point out on how to spot scam emails. Everything in this email is one link. That's freaking weird, right? Which means none of this is actually text. Look at this. Okay, actually, it won't let me drag it right now. Might be my settings to know. But this is actually all just one image file. So someone went in MS Paint or Photoshop or whatever and went and typed this up. Now, another fun fact on why it's so easy to spot fake emails this way is pictures degrade over time. This is why all of the fonts never seem to be clear. In an email, when you're sending text, text is text, right? The machine translates it and displays to you the same text in the same point size that the program told it of how you wrote the email. But in this case, you'll notice they formatted this to look like an email, but none of this is really text. I can't highlight or copy of any of this information. All of this is just to trick me into clicking this one thing. And hopefully, once I click it and it takes me to the new place, just immediately going for it now that I'm there, even if I was an accidental clicker while I was in the middle of reading, say. It will only take you a minute to receive this fantastic prize. Another thing is when you win raffles or contests and things like that is they generally don't tell you how short or long the claiming process is. They usually actually give you a date of the longest you have to claim. And that's not what is going on here. Normally it's like, say you have 30 days. Contest entries are blah, 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 end at. But clearly that's not happening here. So anywhere we can click to confirm this scam. And this, I didn't look it up, but this email probably is in line with one of the Home Depot companies. My grandmother received an email. She thought she was paying, this is years ago, her mortgage company. And they were able to, much like this picture, find a picture of the government seals on the internet and doctor up something that might fool someone not looking so attentive to detail and to giving out personal information. And it resulted in her for months. I wasn't there to know this at the time, or I would definitely have warned her. Rule one, look at where the website is at the top of your screen. Make sure that whatever.com, .net, .org, etc. is where you actually are. You can create a website to look identical to another, but this up here, the address bar, is where you are. So always look at that before entering any information is one thing. But they had actually tricked my grandmother into paying her mortgage, she thought, for like 6 months until she was so extremely in debt that she was losing her house. And she did lose her house because of overseas scammers and brilliant people. Some of them ended up getting caught, but as it usually goes, all the big cheeses get to continue these operations. So the best we can hope for is every now and then when I come across some interesting scam stuff, educate the public on how they do a little bit of their operation so that you don't have to fall for it. You should never give you should give next to no details out online, personally. You should always work with companies and people you trust, and you should always check and verify information. If you really do feel like filling out one of these forms and falling for the scam, read the paper twice. Know what it is that's actually being broadcast to you here. Okay? I haven't been to the Home Depot in over 2 years. This is a scam. Everything is to trick me to going. It cuts it off on the screen right here. But they probably make some money on some Google AdSense, it looks like. So, yeah. Be smart. Always read anything. I'm Kevin Chaos. I hope this helped a little bit, just pointing out a little of these common things. And you'll notice, like, this is kind of off. Compared to how clear and wide this text is, a little bit blurry around the edges too, which is another reason I know this comes from a picture without it even having to tell me with the cursor. You notice little differences. These, the smaller letters might become pixelated or become tall and skinny instead of their proper size because it's having to force the image of this whole illusion of a letter you're getting. It's having to shrink it down to meet that screen. So the text that was originally, say it's 12-point text, now it doesn't really display at 12 because it's actually shrinking that down to meet the window. Since scammers scam stupid people, it's a numbers game and it's about money for them. They don't even have to make it a perfected thing because there is a way to make that match up quite easier. But because they're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people, they're getting your information. They don't need to go through all of that. They'll just spam this everywhere. But now you know a little bit about how some of it works.